Coach, first of all, how excited are you just to kind of get this thing underway?
We're excited. This year's team has come together really, really well. Have bonded great, and the returning players we have our whole offense and defense back this year, with the experience of pitcher and Caitlin Minnie. So, we're excited to get started. Head south. We're going south there, but kind of the Iowa weather is following us down there a little bit this weekend. But it's something that they have to get used to anyway, because when we come back after spring break, we're in the mid-30s anyway when we play. So.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to ask you is, in years past when you guys have traveled south, is there much of a difference? Sometimes people say, the Mason-Dixon line is always but is there a big difference from what you're going to see down there to maybe what you could be doing up here?
The last 3 years, we've kind of done a lot of the traveling aspect. Prior to that, we went to Florida. Our philosophy a little bit there is heading to North Carolina, South Carolina, hitting temperatures that aren't too far away from what we're going to see when we come back. So that was the reasoning behind the Nashville trip and the Memphis trip. We'll see a little bit better weather there in Jackson State, but just trying to stay right around because, with the players and some of them coming back when you're down in Florida and you're in 80-degree weather, and then all of a sudden we come back and the adjustment of 50 degrees difference when we line up. Sometimes it takes a little time for them to adjust. So we've tried that the last few years of just trying to get south far enough to be, reasonable temperatures and but not over
Sure.
the thing there. So just to give them that a little bit of opportunity. So
you mentioned having starters and people with experience back, and maybe outside of that, what do you think will be a strength of this year's team?
Well, I have to go back with looking at what we did well last year. Batting average was pretty good up there. We set the base running steals record, home runs. We did that record. So when we come back, we're going to rely on our offense. Our defense was fairly good too last year, and those are two areas. I think again with Caitlin Minnie being a junior, she was able to get experience last year. Following up from Casey being a freshman, learning from Casey. So, that's the positive. We have two young pitchers that are there that have really developed fairly well, through this year, being Paige and Lex. So, the excitement there, being able to put it all together with the offense and the defense and our pitching staff. So,
from what you've seen last year in the league and what you have coming back, where do you see yourself kind of stacking up? Obviously, no games have been played yet, but when it comes to league play, where do you think you fit in?
Well, if they come out and play hard, and we put everything together, they're a good team. They're a good team. They have a lot of experience, and I think that with only losing a couple young ladies and having everybody else back, plus adding in the freshmen, most of them will be participating there in some aspect. I think it's a positive outlook when you have that. We have three good senior leaders this year, and Miranda being probably one of the better players that I've had an opportunity to coach in my 20 years as an athlete and as a student. She brings a lot to the table. But on top of that, we have Sarah Dow that's done well out there in center field, and Callie that's here today. And, I can continue on, the performances that some of these young ladies have done. So I think what we've done this year is pull the team together, help them understand that it's, do their job. If it's to move the runner, we'll ask anybody to move the runner over. If it's hit the ball the right side to score the run from third, they've worked hard to do that, to be unselfish, I guess, in the long run. But but that's how you come together as a team.
In the media, sometimes we get caught up in records and school records, and if I'm reading correctly, Miranda's pretty close to the school's record for stolen bases. What would that mean to you, and what does that mean to you to know that you'd have a kid, kind of at the top of the list, and no matter what she does from here on out, that kind of always stays? Well,
I think when you have a young lady like her and what she's been able to achieve, through her 3 years here, it's a contributed to her teammates and contributed to her, too. She set the stolen base single season record last year. and she's very close to just setting a career record. But I know her well enough to say that it's a great individual achievement, but she would not steal the base to get the win, and she'd be the first one to say that. So I think that those are great achievements for our student athletes. It's something that you want to work your way in personally, personal goals. But at the end of it, it does come down. A lot of these young ladies would set certain things aside to compete, to win, have a chance to win a ball game. So.